A potentiometer, or pot, is used to create an adjustable signal. They're commonly found as user controls on electronics like dimmers and audio amplifiers. I'm going to show you how to get started with a PiicoDev Potentiometer and a Makerverse. The PiicoDev Potentiometer comes in two flavors, Rotary and Slide. You can follow this tutorial with either of these models. They each behave exactly the same. First up, a tour of the potentiometer. There are two PiicoDev connectors to allow daisy chain connections. The ID switch is for connecting multiple modules. Setting these switches will select a different address from a pool. For now, leave all these switches in the off position to use the default address. You may need to fit the knob to your PiicoDev potentiometer. For a slide pot, carefully push it onto the stem. For a rotary pot, first center the shaft so its notch is aligned with the center of the scale. Then carefully align the knob onto the shaft and push it down. Turn the knob to each end to check that the knob matches the scale. I'm going to show you how to get started with a PiicoDev potentiometer and a microbit. To follow along, you'll of course need a microbit V2, a PiicoDev potentiometer, either the rotary or the slide, they're both the same, a PiicoDev adapter for microbit, and a PiicoDev cable. Plug the microbit into the adapter, making sure the buttons are facing up. Connect the PiicoDev cable to one of the connections, and connect the other end to your potentiometer. I'm going to use the rotary one for now, and then connect to your computer with a USB cable. We need to grab the driver files. In the download section for the article, right-click PiicoDev Unified and save link as. And do the same for PiicoDev Potentiometer. Save link as, and I'm saving these to a PiicoDev directory in My Documents. And here's those files. We're going to use Thonny to program our microbit today. If you've never programmed a microbit using Thonny before, refer to the article for more help. I've opened Thonny, connected to my microbit, and found the two files that I've downloaded. Select each file and upload them to the microbit. And you should see them in the file pane. Return to the guide and find the first example, reading values and changing the scale. Copy all of that code and paste it into a new script in Thonny. And I'll save this script to my microbit as main.py. Let's give the script a run. Click the green Run button, and we ought to see some values being printed into the shell. Here I'm printing about 93, and as I turn the knob on that pot, we can see that value and the plot is changing, corresponding to the position of the knob. In fact, all the way to the left is 0, and all the way to the right is 100. Now, if you're working with the slider pot instead, I'll unplug my rotary pot, plug in the slider, and when we rerun the script, we ought to see that that works in exactly the same way. Cool. Let's take a look at the code. We start by importing the PiicoDev potentiometer driver and a sleep function to create a delay. We call the initialization function, which returns a potentiometer object, and we assign that to pot. Next, we set the maximum and minimum properties. This is what defines the values at the ends of travel for our potentiometer. Here we're setting maximum to 100 and minimum to 0. Then in an infinite loop, we're reading pot.value, which returns the number, and we're printing that to the shell. Finally, there's a short delay. Since we have access to these properties, we can change the value that the potentiometer will return. We can change the scale. I could set this to -1 and 1. We'll run that. And now we've changed our scale to between -1 and 1. And you might notice that now, when the potentiometer is all the way to the left, we're reading +1, and all the way to the right, we're reading -1. These names maximum and minimum don't refer to the value, they refer to the value that's returned at the minimum and maximum end of the mechanical scale. So since maximum is -1, I'm returning -1 when the knob is turned all the way to the right. And then we get a linear scale all the way down to the minimum of the travel, where we return +1. So we can change the direction that the potentiometer works. Now you often see potentiometers on electronic musical equipment, and the Makerverse is kind of no different. It has an onboard buzzer that we can create a tone with. So wouldn't it be neat to remix this code so that we can control the pitch of the buzzer using the potentiometer? Let's give it a go. We're going to need to modify the code. We'll import music. This is what gives us capabilities to drive that buzzer. We're going to use the potentiometer as a tone knob. And so we want the minimum and maximum to be different frequencies of tone that we want to produce. I'll make the maximum frequency 440, and that's hertz. That's the frequency of the tone. Now for the minimum, I could use 0, but there's a quirk in how the buzzer works. If we pass it a frequency of 0, it clicks constantly. It's not completely silent. I'll actually pass it a value of -1, and because that value is invalid, it will actually be silent. So we should get a silent and then ascending tone as we turn that knob. So we have to sample the pot to get the frequency. I'll create a variable called frequency and assign it pot.value. And I think it's best if we keep this a whole number. So I'll round that to the nearest whole number. Then we call music.pitch and we pass in that frequency. And that's going to be between -1 and 440. And where we have our print statement, I'll remove the contents of that and we'll print the frequency variable and also a little unit there. We'll put in the hertz unit and we're ready to go. I'll turn my knob all the way to the left, run the script, and there's nothing because we're currently set to -1 hertz. If I turn this knob slowly to the right, that's it. We're done. We were able to sample the potentiometer for a frequency between, say, 0 and 440 hertz, and now we can create that tone. And it only took like an extra 3 lines of code. That's pretty cool. And for completeness, here is our slider pot to show you that there is no difference whatsoever. Run the script. Nice. Now to show you how we can read from 2 potentiometers at once, I've created a simple lighting project. Here we have 2 potentiometers and a PiicoDev RGB LED module. The right potentiometer controls the brightness. If I slide this up, it becomes brighter, and if I slide it down, the LEDs fade into nothing. The rotary potentiometer is controlling the color. At the moment, we're at a nice blue or cyan, and if I turn this to the left, we rotate through yellow, orange, and red. And if I rotate to the right, it becomes more purple and then magenta. We achieve this with how we set up these potentiometers. Remember at the start of the tutorial, we left the ID switches all set to 0. For the second potentiometer that we introduce, we need to give it a unique ID. In this case, I set the first ID switch on. Now in our code, we have 2 instances of PiicoDev Potentiometer, one that controls color and the other that controls brightness. For the color controlling potentiometer, this is my potentiometer that I left in the default ID configuration, and so I'm passing it ID with the list all zeros. Each 0 stands for one of the switches, and in this case, all the switches are off. However, for the brightness controlling potentiometer, its first ID switch is on, and so in the ID argument, we set the first entry to a 1 to indicate that switch is on. Now we have 2 separate potentiometers that we can talk to independently to get 2 different values. And in this case, we're getting a color value and a brightness value. We sample the color value, we sample the brightness value, and then we fill the LEDs with the color that we sampled, and we set the brightness to the brightness that we sampled. And that's how you can combine 2 potentiometers to create a more complex project. In this case, a color and brightness selector. And so there you have it. We were able to connect a PiicoDev potentiometer and read a value from it. We were able to change the scale so that we can get more convenient data from the potentiometer. And we even did a code remix where we made a simple musical instrument or a color fader using multiple potentiometers. If you make something cool from these starter projects or just have some questions, let us know on the forums. We're full-time makers and happy to help. Happy making.